I think that one of my favorite things about this game
All right,
has
I'm
to be the
live.
music. I don't know who designed it, but
As my favorite coworker would say, whenever he would SSH into a unit,
we're in.
we're in.
Right, we're
Exactly.
in. I love when people do that.
Me too.
Man, some of our coworkers are really chill.
Agreed. All right, let's see. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for this. Oh, tabbed out. I forgot I can't do that. Oh well. There's just like a little bit of the game reaching over on my other monitor, but I'll deal with it. Alrighty. Dang, which one of these was I playing on? I think I started the playthrough on... I don't want to stretch that. There we go. Alrighty. Let me figure out which of these I was playing on. I don't like that it doesn't show the difference. Oh, and I'm also using the wrong buttons because that's B. These aren't flipped on this one. No, is that A? Is it A or B?
Raiden, you landed safely.
Okay, I think this is the one I was on, so I'm gonna go back to title. Actually, you know what? Let's just delete both of these. Neither of these are the main ones I beat it on. Because I'm going to be starting from the first mission anyways. I don't intend to play through the entire game. I will eventually do that at some point on stream. But right now, I'm just dipping my toes into Metal Gear Rising for a few hours. And my primary reason for this is I want to do a little bit of compare and contrast, if you will. Oh man, I gotta go put in the Konami code. I gotta go back to the title screen for that. Is it left, left, right, right, up, down, BA start? Let's try that. Left, left, right, up, down, down. No, it's up, down, left, right, BA start. I did it wrong. Wait, I can remember this. Left, left, right, right. Yeah. Left, left, right, up, down, B, A. I can't ever remember which one's select. Left, left, right, up, down, B, A, start. Oh, wait. Vinny, can you tell me what the Konami code is?
What do you mean?
Can you look up what the Konami code is?
Is it like a specific code?
Yes.
Okay, so Konami code. Is it a code that's consistent between all the games?
Yes.
Oh, it's a famous cheat code first created by Hashimoto in 1986. Okay, the code is. Are you listening?
Which ones start first of all? Is it on the right or the left of the controller?
I don't think start's part of the combo. It's not. Yeah,
Alright,
start's not. It doesn't matter. Okay, listen. It's up, down, left, right, B, A.
I hate the Nintendo controller so much, but
You did that in the wrong order. Left, right is in the middle. It goes up, down first.
Okay.
I mean, let me rephrase. I need to say this again. So it's up, down, then left, right, BA.
and I keep, oh man, Wait. I keep hitting the wrong buttons as well because the Nintendo Switch controller has B on the bottom. This is an issue that I struggled with a lot when I was playing Metal Gear Rising for the first time. So wait, up, down, left, right, B, A. Wait, what was it again? Just one more time.
Up, down, left, right, B, A.
Metal Gear Rising
Got it.
Revengeance.
That was because my B and A were flipped.
That makes sense.
There we go. Now I'll be able to start story on Revengeance mode, right? No? Did I just... God dang it, dude. I'm going to crash out with how these flipped controls are just... Vinny, I just need a Sharpie so I can write B on the A and A on the B for my Nintendo Switch controller, please.
That's funny.
I keep looking at it. I'm just staring at it like, I know which one's B, right? And then I hit A. And then I'm like, wait, they're flipped. Okay, so I know which one's A, right? Then I hit B. Dude, I heard Metal Gear Rising. I feel like I'm playing this like one of those people that like just works for, what are the companies called actually? Vinny, what's that one guy that got clowned on for trying to play Cuphead but he couldn't get past the tutorial?
I remember now, yeah, it was someone who was reviewing the game for like some popular website, some blog or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like one of those guys right now. Like, I can't get past the title screen.
Metal Gear
Got it.
Rising Revengeance. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
It's not possible to do story on all of the, I know it's possible to do story on Revengeance. There it is. Got it. No tutorial, and I'm going to be skipping the cutscenes. Because I've already played through... Oh, wait. There we go. I've played through this game... Oh, man.
Take out those rocks.
Can I pause? Alright. So I've played through this game like 2 or 3 times in my spare time. I loved it a lot. First time was life-changing. And I do not say this lightly. This is probably one of my top 3 favorite games I've ever played. I think Devil May Cry is very quickly coming up on that. I don't think I could put Devil May Cry 3 in my top 3. But if they keep going at the pace they've been getting better, I think 4 or 5 could end up there. I've heard that 3 is better than 4, though. I don't know how true that is. I do want to play through all of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance in my free time, but right now I'm just playing it for a few hours to do some compare and contrast now that I've played a handful of hack and slash games to see how this one measures up to the others. I've played DMC 1 and 2, I played Kingdom Hearts, I played Hi-Fi Rush. Cult of the Lamb kind of gives those vibes in an isometric hack and slash way, like if you've ever played Hades, which I have also played Hades. It's interesting seeing how some different games tackle the weapon system, because that seems to be an element that's recurring in these games so far, is that you have different types of weapons that augment your play style significantly, and then usually you also have progression for those weapons. Like, I don't think you unlock progression for your weapons in Hades until you beat a run for the first time. Because I think it's the final boss that allows you to have Titan's Blood, and then you can start getting upgrades for your weapons. But I guess, no, you actually do upgrade your weapons throughout the run, so if you could count that, I guess. Kingdom Hearts doesn't have really long-term upgrades to your weapons, though, more the character. I guess that's where the RPG elements come in. Alright, let's see. I gotta remember controls, so I'm gonna probably get my butt kicked a few times here.
How long has it been since you played?
It's been a while. It's been at least a few weeks.
You'll need to choose between light and heavy strikes to match the situation.
Alright.
Raiden, respond! Raiden!
X and Y are flipped now, so heavy attack's gonna be my... And I hope I start pressing these there. I need to stop looking at... Oh, man. If the mouse recenters every time, that's gonna be annoying. Alright, let's see. I think I got it.
You'll need to choose between light and heavy strikes to match the
Oh,
situation.
did I get them all already?
Take self-repair units from your foes
Got
to
'em.
replenish your own supply. Raiden, the limo is in trouble. Get back there, ASAP. I'll add the limo to your solid down radar.
I'm glad I actually remembered how to parry for once. Parrying was the biggest thing I struggled with the most in the game when I first started. Oh, please let me get to that cutscene. If I don't get a new cutscene and I die after killing that first group of enemies, I'm going to be really frustrated. Alright, there we go. Ah, let's go. First boss fight.
Here? Raiden, take out that UMG and get after it. Use blade mode to damage its armor. Catch that missile before it blows.
I do like the QTEs in this game. They're very fun, but now I think about it, I've not seen a QTE in most of the other games I've played. That's where I'm seeing a lot of parallels between the Hi-Fi Rush and these other hack and slashes. They definitely drew inspiration from the other games, because they took a lot of inspiration from this game, or not this game, DMC, because of all the style system they incorporated. There's a rank system in Hi-Fi Rush. It's not called style, though. I don't know if it has it.
Combo related system in Kingdom Hearts.
Uh,
I feel like it's important.
Wait. Let me turn you up so that way I can hear you better. But what were you saying about Kingdom Hearts?
Is there a style system in Kingdom Hearts? Or if so, is it as important?
There is not a style system in Kingdom Hearts. I'm going to turn my audio up overall, and then I'm going to try to turn Metal Gear Rising down in-game.
And what I said, that's why I specifically worded it as combo, because style is just another word for combo, in my opinion.
No, there are combos in Devil... Well, I guess they're different, because a combo is a streak of hits you hit in sequentially without getting hit and without a gap of time in between them. Getting hit in Devil May Cry massively lowers your rank, but it actually doesn't set it all the way back to 0. So to my knowledge, Kingdom Hearts does not track combos or style. No sort of ranking system at all for... Ah, dang.
Pretty sure they track combos. That can't be right. But I'm looking this up now. That can't be right. They definitely have combos.
Do they track combos? I know they track techs.
Take out that UMG and get after it. Catch that missile before it blows.
Specifically, they do develop on it more in 2 and 3, but yes, you can string together multiple attacks into different types of combos. That's why they also have a people. Yeah,
But do they have like a tracker for it?
Well, there's a in-game, not in the physical game. That it, like, let me rephrase this. In the game, yes. Does it tell you with a physical medium like a meter? No. But there's even extended abilities for this. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2, you get Combo Plus and Air Combo Plus.
Well, yes, that's the thing. But I mean, in the original Kingdom Hearts, it doesn't even need a meter. It just needs to say like 2 or 3 or 5 hit combo. Because comboing as a concept and actually having a combo tracker are two different things. That's what I'm curious about. Because if you're just talking about comboing in a concept, then you could combo in any game. Pushing an advantage, you can combo people in League, but League doesn't tell you when you're hitting combos unless you're playing Samira, I guess.
Also, there are QTs in Kingdom Hearts. I completely forgot about this, but when using certain attacks or certain combos of attacks, it asks you to press like X or Y and stuff.
Well, like, does it actually give...
That's what teching... Now I think about it, that's what teching is too.
Yes, that's teching and pairing, but what I mean is that, again, that you're...
Yes, there's QTEs where it says, like, press this button.
Yeah.
I'll show you a screenshot because you don't believe me.
I wasn't talking about Kingdom Hearts, by the way, when I first introduced that concept. I'm talking about the other games. Like, this game has QTEs, but I don't think Devil May Cry has a QTE. I was comparing it to Hi-Fi Rush, because surprisingly enough, Hi-Fi Rush does actually have dedicated QTEs in the game. There's even a super in Hi-Fi Rush that introduces a QTE. I was comparing it to Kingdom Hearts in the sense of a combo and a text, or not, in a combo and a style system. I don't know, actually, if Kingdom Hearts has a QTE system. I fully don't remember. It's been a while. There kind of is if you count the whole Trinity Force markers thing. Those have button presses you need to do.
Typically, the way that most people combo in Kingdom Hearts from what I'm reading is that they'll start out with a series of either ground or aerial attacks, but use a powerful finishing ability to try and kill the enemy in one last hit. But if you want extended duration of your combo, and by extension how long you're stun locking the person you're hitting, that's the whole concept of adding Combo Plus to your combos, which is interesting. Apparently in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, you can switch your Keyblade in the middle of a combo. Is that true? Is that true?
I would believe that in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 3, they added in like a multi-Keyblade thing, kind of like Devil May Cry. That's something they introduced in Devil May Cry 3, is they introduced a particular way of swapping between weapons. You can only have 2 weapons in active combat now, but you can quickly and fluidly swap between 2 weapons in combat to allow you to style much. It expanded on your ability to style on opponents. Yeah, I'm just like looking at it in hindsight, I'm realizing that Hi-Fi Rush took a lot of inspiration from a lot of the classic hack and slash games that exist. Because they took QTEs, not necessarily from this game, but this is the most QTE intensive hack and slash that comes to mind. But then you also had the style system from Devil May Cry. I wonder if there's anything that Kingdom Hearts did uniquely from the other games that it reminds me of those games. I think I have to parry his face one more time and then we're good. Plasma again? Come on. Use your sword, my guy.
The legs, Raiden. Go for the legs.
I already hit his legs enough. Got it. And now we should be done? Say it. Say it. I'm waiting for you to say it. Yeah, there it is. Now, Raiden, bring it down.
Stop that blade.
Rules of nature. No run when the sun comes up. With the eyes on the high. High. Oh, nature. Fire. God, what a hell of a way to introduce a game.
Good. But do not rest easy just yet, huh?
Ooh, no damage, not bad.
He's on the other side of that collapsed building. Go. There. Get him. Use your ninja ramp to move over obstacles automatically.
Something about this game that I do appreciate that I think is why I clicked with this game so much better than Devil May Cry. I was not a big fan, and I know this is purely a personal taste thing. I was not a big fan of the puzzles in Devil May Cry, the backtracking, and just navigating the castles and maps. It gives me Metroidvania vibes, especially when I compare it to other games like Metal Gear Rising. And the main reason is entirely due to my own faults as a player. My ADHD is way too strong for me to be able to lock in and remember where I'm going. Oh my god! I perfectly parried him and one-shot him! That's wild! This is the fastest I've ever killed this boss! Holy! If I manage to run down the build perfectly, I think I just S-ranked this entire mission. Please don't fumble Raiden, please. And by Raiden, I mean me. It's so cool. It's so cool. Checkpoint. Please don't fumble Raiden. No! Come on!
What is going on? Raiden, answer me! Raiden! Damn it!
Also, I didn't even know you could parry his bullets. I didn't parry his I didn't parry his head. I parried his bullets, and I parried it frame perfect.
Raiden, respond! Raiden! Raiden!
I fully have no idea if picking up from a checkpoint ruins your status in a mission. I don't think it does. I hope it doesn't for the purposes of this boss fight, because I'm going to be very sad if I just perfectly perform that boss fight and I lose because I can't do the parkour here in the middle.
What happened? What is going on? Raiden,
Hardest part of the boss fight, by the way. You feel very cool doing this in any game mode that isn't Revengeance. Alright, got him. No damage either, so guess I'm about to find out how checkpoints in the middle of boss fights affect it. S rank, let's go. But that's effectively all of the main combat areas in the first game.
He's headed for the front of the train. Enter him.
So, guess I'm about to find out if I can S-rank the first mission.
My field rotor is headed your way. Keep an eye out for it.
All... I want to say a lot, but I also don't want to interrupt the flow of the game, the mission. The coolest guy in the entire game, and he had me, for the first time I ever fought him, just yelling, "He's so cool," for a solid 35 minutes.
Self-taught. And not half bad. Still.
Also, it's uncanny how much this guy looks like Vinny. Every time I fight him, I only see Vinny.
Wait, who are you fighting right now?
Jetstream Sam, who do you think I'm fighting?
Ah, perfect. Wait, what? You're playing a game you've already played?
What do you mean? I told you I was. I've never seen him do that strike before. He did a move I've never seen him do before that instantly knocked me down to 0.1%. I did play New Game Plus with, well, it's not even exactly New Game Plus, it's more just DLC. I did play DLC with Jetstream Sam. The fight between him and Armstrong felt like I was fighting Armstrong for the first time all over again, in a good way and a bad way. Took me like over an hour to beat him, even after I figured out how taunting worked. But that's another thing. Wait a minute. I don't know. No. Devil May Cry 3 came out way before this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, which fighting game first introduced benefits for taunting? But he's something cool, I don't know if you know this. In Devil May Cry 3, it may also be evident in 1, when you taunt an enemy, it gives you Devil Trigger. You get Devil Trigger, and it adds to your style combo for being able to taunt on them in a fight. And I found out, just by, like, looking up ways to beat Armstrong when he beat me so long on Samuel's playthrough, I found out that apparently you can taunt as Jetstream Sam, and it gives, because he doesn't have an FC meter, it gives you like a damage amp against whoever you've taunted, a big damage amp. Which, you know, makes sense. I guess that's why he's always rage baiting, huh?
Dragon, are you all right? You're almost clear of the tunnel. Just hang on.
Do you want to practice?
He's literally me.
Look at him, he's just rage baiting. If you try to slice at him when you're bleeding out, he just says, "Oh, did you want to practice first?"
Did you want to practice first? Gotta try hard on that. Did you want to practice first?
Also, what was with these pro tags having white hair?
Tour to a sword fight. It's over.
And then we died. The end. Roll credits. Dang, that's my first time S-ranking a mission ever, and I did it on Revengeance mode of all modes. Which, honestly, it might be easier to do, since you don't really have a choice. You either get... In a lot of fights, you either S-rank or you die. I unlock Suit. I forgot we get a special outfit for every mission we beat. The thing I don't like about this game is you see the customized screen like 4 times, I think, in the total run of the game.
First, head inland. The waypoint is marked on your Soliton radar. Contact us on Codex.
There's no way to actually hit a customize in the middle of a game, to my knowledge. And you'd have to, like, back out of a saved game, go back to your save file, and then customize from there, I think?
The bastards are using stealth cable to ambush you.
Jesus Christ, that's violent.
What? Raiden? No. No!
I've just been like,
Bastards are using stealth
I'm
camo
taking a
to
moment to just listen to the sound design of the game. When you listen for it, you hear a lot more stuff.
you, To bury incoming hits, throw out your own barrage of light
What? Raiden? No. No!
I also like it when it gets cut off when you restart. Just run.
bastards are using stealth camo to ambush.
When they jump out of their stealth camo, you can hear just the tiniest little bit of static buzzing from their stealth turning off. It's really good attention to detail.
Throw out your own barrage of light attacks while your foe is on the offensive. Right.
I'm so mad. I accidentally.
What? Raiden? No. No!
I forgot I had an FC meter unlocked, so I didn't realize I had to like slice him up in order to get.
Bastards
All
are
right.
using stealth camo to ambush you. Nice try.
I did say it'd been a while since I played.
Against a state-of-the-art cyborg like you, To bury incoming hits, throw out your own barrage of light attacks while your foe is on the offensive.
Just kill me. I got a little tilted after I just missed it again.
Raiden, respond! Raiden!
I've been conditioned to whenever I see a button input to press inputs on the opposite side of the controller because my first ever playthrough of this game, no, like the first 2 playthroughs I did of this game, I did with my button inputs flipped because I couldn't get them set up right on Steam. But now I do have them set up right. So that's good.
State-of-the-art cyborg like you, To bury incoming hits, throw out your own barrage of light attacks while your foe is on the offensive.
Jeez, that didn't even give me an indicator to try to get out of it. If I get hit by that one, I'm just big dead.
Raiden! Raiden! Bastards are using stealth camo to ambush you. Nice try, but it won't do any good against a state-of-the-art cyborg like you, To bury incoming hits, throw out your own barrage of light
tired.
attacks while your foe is on the offensive.
I'm a little tired too. Oh my god. I've never seen him do that before. Mission accomplished?
Did you win?
I think I did. I've never seen Raiden do that. He grabbed an enemy and slung him around more than Set does.
Raiden, this is Boris. Give me your status.
Looks clear.
Good. As I said, also,
So I-
still, dude.
I also don't know why, but Soliton radar is always broken as soon as I hit this map and forward. It's always broken. I'm not really too worried about collectibles either.
Hostiles in the lower corridor. Try to flank.
The point system is also measured in similar scale as the other games, like in Devil May Cry. The unique thing is, though, about this game that Devil May Cry does not have is this game retains a bit of the stealth aspects, I assume, from the rest of the Metal Gear series. That's what it's called. It's named after those big robots, those Gundams that are called... Well, they're not Gundams exactly because they're unmanned. They're called Metal Gears. They're just like weapons of mass destruction, to my knowledge. That's interesting. I think the first boss fight is also a major tone setter, not only for the scale of the game, but also the deviations it takes from the story. Because to my knowledge, you don't really just walk up and fight those things into the other games. It's more of a stealth game, right?
I think so, yeah.
But then the first boss you fight in this game, you grab it and slice it in half, and it's also the scariest weapon of mass destruction from the other games. I also found out it is possible to save those civilians. In my most recent playthrough of the game, I saved all except the last one. I'm not doing that in this run.
You're not saving them all?
I can't be bothered. It's super annoying to set up.
Sorry, buddy. Looks like you're not going to be in Devil May Cry 3.
Sorry, buddy. You're not going to be in MGRR, the sequel.
You're not going to be in the Netflix animated series, which drops in 2 weeks. wait, I thought these guys have demon blood in them, right?
And Metal Gear, not Metal Gear, Devil May Cry.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was referencing Devil May Cry. My bad. But my point being is, I thought they have demon blood in them, right?
Yeah, they have demon and
So
human blood. They're
they-
half and half.
Shouldn't they just age at half the speed?
They may just be fully like immune to aging. Who knows how old they are? We never
Why?
really got that
Why
kind of
does he
info.
Then why does he get all grizzled in the next game?
I think that's more of a personal design choice they took for him to try to give him more of a rogue look like Akshan.
I love Kashtan.
Kashtan is very funny. I think he's also working with Virgil's son in that game.
That's what it looks like in the animated series. In the animated series, I saw that it was just him and some white-haired guy both alongside the same barrel of one gun.
I didn't know I could do that.
Wait, Virgil has a son, right?
Yeah, I think that's who he is. His name might
Didn't
be
he cut off his
Nero.
son's arm and take it?
That's from the memes that I've heard. Yes.
Damn, dude. I can see why they call him Nero.
I don't get it.
He got a lot thinner after losing that arm, Diego.
But what is
you
Nero?
realize how much? That's the name. You narrow, like thin, you know? Like. do you
What-
not
where's
get what
that
I'm
stand
saying?
for
He
thin
got
at?
left- Like, you realize narrow, like, okay, yo, what does it mean if something's narrow?
Oh, narrow, like narrow, but like narrow. I get it now.
Narrow, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, that's like, cause like, you know.
No, it
it's a
makes
lot
sense,
less
yes.
wide. Yeah. See, that would have been funny if you got it at first, but now I feel like it's not.
This can't be happening. Ryan! Ryan!
The thing you're doing with the hack and slashes, I feel like we should do that a lot more often with other games too.
Trying to give myself new experiences and try to learn about them. Try to just utilize my critical thinking and.
Maybe we try other MOBAs like Dota and stuff, or maybe we try other first-person shooters.
I'm trying to get you to do that. I'm trying to get you to do that with Valve's MOBA.
I don't like Deadlock isn't a MOBA.
You haven't even played it. Yes, it is a MOBA. It's literally a MOBA first-person shooter.
You can't have a MOBA that's a first-person shooter. That's not how those work.
You're jaded. You're literally just jaded.
Listen, if I ain't got an eagle eye view, I ain't want it. Okay, is that's some...
You say as I'm playing third person hack and slashes. It's not
But that's
Hades,
not a
but you'll
MOBA,
still
is it?
play it.
I mean, I tried Hades. It was all right.
So you don't immediately love a game for having an eagle eye view.
I mean, I like first-person games. It's just like I don't want to try Deadlock because people keep telling me to try it, and that makes me want to try it less.
This can't be happening.
I can't
People
say that
just
on
like it
stream.
because
I was gonna say something.
It's just quality slop, okay?
No, what? Huh?
They just like it because other people.
They just like it because it's good.
Literally, dude. Like, if you like a game because you say, and I quote, it's good, you have to provide me a definitive reason why. If you like the gameplay and stuff, you can't just say, well, everyone.
The character design is phenomenal. I like the sound design. I like the aesthetics, and I like the gameplay.
Well, I highly doubt that you mean all of that, but I'm not gonna try it, so I can't.
I didn't say
if you want.
anything. I didn't say anything outlandish. Like I like the developers, which no, it's made by Valve. It's not made by Riot. Never mind. I love the developers.
This can't be happening.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fall in love with another game series by Valve that they're gonna just like let die because it's not as profitable as.
No,
the,
Vinny, you don't get it. It hasn't died yet. It's Deadlock. They're gonna make a Deadlock 2, then it's going to die.
Sure, you're right. We got at least one more game on the way.
Exactly. So get into it now because it's gonna last for at least another half decade. Something interesting, a way they up the difficulty in this game is that your FC meter gets smaller.
You know, a conspiracy I have about Valve.
You can just walk
I
away,
kinda-
man.
What do you mean?
Just walk away.
Oh, you're talking about your game. Anyway, a conspiracy I have about Valve is that they kind of like other companies. I feel like they purposely leak some of their own content sometimes through like some of their own members, so that way they can then gauge if the public would be adverse to it or not. To see what public opinion is about a potential change before actually launching the change. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, I was completely zoned out because I was just staring at a guy missing his arm. What were you talking about?
So as I was saying, I have a conspiracy about Valve.
Yeah?
I feel like kind of like some other companies, they purposely leak their own data through a third party, so that way they could first see people's reactions to what if it was real before actually announcing it.
They wouldn't do that if they were far enough in development to have something to leak.
That's what I'm saying, is I feel like that's what they did with the Steam Machine prices before actually announcing it. They just leaked it.
Okay, now that
themselves.
would make more sense.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's not like with games and stuff. I'm just saying like with that in particular.
What? Raiden? No. No. Run!
I'm gonna be here a while. It's not even that hard. I just keep zoning out to talk to you about how cool video games are.
Can't blame me, that's fun.
Let me lock in for a moment. Immediately dies.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
That's so sad. The moment you sit up in your chair to focus, you get dejected because you just died, and you just lean back into your chair, which leads to this like this loop of you keep dying because you're not locked in.
Hey, at least you're stretching.
I guess.
I wonder if there's a name for the when a third party announces something in a video game. I guess you would refer to him as the announcer, but like it's like the opposite of a. It's like similar to how you call a large sharp noise in a horror movie a stinger or a sting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an equivalent for that when someone just says yeah or get 'em or toasty in a fighting game? You know.
What's wrong? Come on, buddy, answer me. Raiden? Raiden!
Man, I felt so good about the first game, and now the game's back to humbling me. The first stage, I was like, oh man, I S-ranked it. Maybe today's gonna go good, and now I'm stuck on this guy.
What's wrong? Answer me. Raiden! Raiden!
Alright, let's do this again for the first time. Like Echo says in his funny card.
What? This can't be happening. Raiden? Raiden!
Those weird little things, I hate them so much because their attacks are so telegraphed, but they take so strangely long to wind up their attacks. It's hard to tell when it's gonna strike. I like this move though. This move's an easy move because you just like it comes from a mile away, it's really well telegraphed, and then you get a free kill afterwards. Easy. Oh, that's not good. Almost got him. Dang it. I'm pretty sure that's the last one, too. Well, let's do it again. The heck? Since when could you do that, Raiden? Do you have a different... Oh, cool. It's like Kingdom Hearts almost. Oh, that's something I actually really appreciate about this game. I just realized in this game, you don't need to hit an enemy to keep executing your combo. The same cannot be said for Kingdom Hearts. I really like that. At least for the aerial combo, I think. Get away from me, I'm scared. I remember that I could just insta-kill these guys, and now I'm very happy about it.
Cannot be. Right, what happened? You're supposed to be stronger than this.
I'm noticing now they give you multiple ways to insta-kill those things. You know, now I'm listening to the soundtrack in this game. I also realized that's something... Oh, god dang it. I hit L instead of Y and B. Wait, why does Y and B sound familiar? Vinny, what's Y and B stand for?
I'm not sure.
Wait, no, I'm thinking of Y and W, Melly, right?
Yep, that's what you're saying.
Is he a musical artist? Vinny?
Yeah.
Is he a musical artist?
Mine W. Melly is in fact a musical artist.
What did he make?
You're supposed to be stronger than this.
His most popular song that a lot of people know him for, I think, is... It's been so long since I've heard that name. Damn. It's Murder on My Mind.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Did he make anything else good?
Pretty decent stuff, but not really my flavor.
I see.
I can appreciate when a song is like have effort put into it, even if it's not my genre and I wouldn't listen to it personally.
Makes sense. Yeah, but I'm now realizing that I very much enjoy this soundtrack. I do not enjoy the soundtrack for DMC. Wait. What? I was smashing... Oh, I was mashing X. Wait, no, I... X should be Y. Why didn't that do anything? I was mashing the right button, huh? I guess I just wasn't mashing it hard enough, fast enough. Harder, better, faster, stronger. I at least wanted to get to Mistral before stopping stream, but I don't know that I want to be here for much longer struggling into these guys. That's something, you know, it's interesting now I think about it. The difficulty in this game was very low compared to the difficulty of, well, maybe not low, but this game felt a lot more forgiving overall compared to Devil May Cry. The interesting thing is you could get away with not engaging with the difficulty in the, or not the difficulty, the systems provided to you in this game nearly as much, and you'd be fine. But in Devil May Cry, if you did not engage with the style system, you were not going to have a good time, and most of the time you wouldn't even win. especially in like the mid to late game, at least for Devil May Cry 3. But that's something I really appreciated about it, was how unforgiving it was, especially in the boss fights. In the boss fights, like, the first one that, I can still remember the first one that happens to you in Devil May Cry 1 is, his name is Phantom. Giant lava spider. And he was really unforgiving because, like, he's the first creature you fight in the game, but he's also the first boss that you can't damage directly. You can't hit him on anywhere on his body except for the front of his mouth, which only is periodically attackable, which means mashing will not work into him. And I really appreciated that because it stopped me from making a lot of bad habits early on into my Devil May Cry gameplay experience. Then I found out how busted Air Raid was, and we're back to square one. Air Raid was busted in Devil May Cry 1. Strike Raid was busted in Kingdom Hearts 1. I feel like they were just a bit of... There was a bit of a theme there with which abilities got to be the strong abilities. I don't know if I can say the same about the level of difficulty in this game, though, because they weren't as unforgiving as the original Devil May Cry games. Nice. Come on, can I get the last one? Are you kidding me? No! God dang it, man. I've never seen that animation before because I've never failed that before, and I failed it the one time I needed not to. I don't think you get a kill off that of throwing him around, though. So I still would have needed to at least parry or hit another move. Alright. Oh, I was out of FC, wasn't I? Mashing Y and B and I hit Y first. That's another thing I should take into account, though, the level of difficulty on all these games. Because if I had to rank them, I'd probably say that Devil May Cry, at least the first and third games, if I'm just grouping them together, which maybe I shouldn't, but just for the sake of this statement, Devil May Cry 1 and 3 were by far the least forgiving out of all the games. Kingdom Hearts was the second. No, Kingdom Hearts was probably the most forgiving. Devil May Cry 1 and 3 were the least forgiving. And I'd say Metal Gear Rising was in the middle. Metal Gear Rising was definitely aimed more at casuals, but had the option to get a bit more punishing. But I think that Devil May Cry 1 and 3 were kind of giving the vibe that it was going to be more involved. Not necessarily tougher, but more involved. It may also be just because I struggled with it more personally, but it gave me the vibe that you needed to engage with the systems provided to you, and if you don't, you're going to be reinforced to do so. You're going to be conditioned to do it because they reward you for engaging with their systems a lot, but they also punish you for doing not so. Like in Devil May Cry, if you spam one ability over and over, you find an ability that you really like, it's really easy to pull off, and is very cheesy, it disincentivizes you from doing that by giving it diminishing returns on both style. Well, I should just say style, because style is what's affecting how your kit works. Style, if your style is low, you do less damage, your combos have smaller range of effect, and do different things, necessarily worse things. And the inverse, if you build style, you do better. But also, you're doing things that you should be doing anyways in a fighting game that contribute to building style. You're comboing effectively, you're dodging attacks, you're not getting hit, you're dodging appropriately, you get close to getting hit, but you just barely get out in time, which means you're making most uptime of getting damage in. And if you manage to read your opponent and know when they're going to strike, you also get rewarded with the opportunity to taunt them because you know when they're incapable of hitting you or not. It's just interesting how many moving pieces in the style system come together where if you make your goal getting your style higher, you're effectively also getting yourself to be a better player. And it's a really interesting way of incentivizing a player to learn your system. And it's one that feels very satisfying because style just correlates to cool. If you're stylish, you're cool. So if you're playing right, you look cool, and if you're playing right, you feel cool. It's a really involved and well-designed mechanic. Well, it's a concept that's executed fantastically that I really appreciate. I have to say, I feel like they did not... I feel like Hi-Fi Rush did not deliver nearly as well on that as Devil May Cry did. And I haven't even played 5 yet. But Hi-Fi Rush implemented a rank system and combos and stuff into their gameplay. And this might partially just be because I struggle with the rhythm game aspect from time to time, or at the very least I didn't like the way that it mashed in with combat, but I just did not appreciate the rank or style system in Hi-Fi Rush, but I really appreciated it in Devil May Cry. I will admit, in Devil May Cry 1, I took a bit of a sour outlook to the game when I was starting out with it, and I didn't give it enough of a fair chance when I first started, and as a result, I didn't engage with the systems unless absolutely necessary. And that can also be seen as a fault on the game's part for not doing a good enough job of at least making it obvious my incentives for engaging with the system. Because I didn't really piece together that it may not even have been a thing in the first game, because it wasn't really explaining the style system. At least not that I can remember. Again, I may have just skipped through the tutorial bits, but it wasn't exactly obvious to me in the first game that a higher style meter actually influenced your gameplay. I thought it was more a representation of how well you're doing, just points on a screen like everything else. But Devil May Cry 3 had different things that actually reflected to you, no, your style meter is important and you should be engaging with it, like the statues. I think the statues were a fantastic way to add collectibles into a game, but they made them obvious where they were. And they also, they made them obvious where they were, so that way you would have the opportunity to engage with them and find out that they're basically tests. They're like training dummies for your weapons. They were usually placed near or around or after where you're going to be acquiring a weapon for the first time, and near statues where you can swap to that weapon. And then they also had ramping difficulties on each one, so that way you found out how style works, and it trains you to actually learn how to use your combos effectively and learn what style is and how to acquire it. Like, the more I think about it, the more I really appreciate the way that Devil May Cry 3 took the pre-existing concept of style and made it a core gameplay element, and then the ways that it executed on teaching you those concepts. This is actually a conversation I have with Arya. I think they'd really appreciate this. Even if they don't appreciate the aesthetic and vibes that Devil May Cry 3 is going for, they may be interested to learn that system and how the fighting system works. Maybe they'd enjoy it. But anyways, I'm rambling. How does that tie into Hi-Fi Rush? Hi-Fi Rush, like, had ways of teaching you new abilities similarly, but they were a lot more obvious, less diegetic. They were through Smidge, who just, like, very comically would break the fourth wall a lot and teach you how new abilities worked. And then also, Chai would just hallucinate sometimes and learn how rhythm worked and how some of his new abilities worked. But it just didn't feel as intuitive or cohesive as DMC3 did. Like, you would get giant splash pages that would be like, oh, hey, new style unlocked, or hey, you leveled up on this tree, these are the new abilities you locked. But they didn't ever, to my knowledge, no, wait, I think they did put up one giving the basics of how style worked at the start of the game. Yeah, they did, I think. I say I think, because it's been a while since I started that game. But after that, it just managed to... I feel like over the course of the game, it just continued to reinforce what style is and how to use it organically, not in an intrusive way. Again, maybe I should just give Hi-Fi Rush another try. It just didn't click with me as well as the other games did. And I also feel like Metal Gear Rising was also lacking a bit on that aspect. Like, Metal Gear Rising is probably one of the games I had the hardest time taking to with combat. Like, the way they worded how parries work was very convoluted, and it caused me to not even understand how to parry for the first time that I played it. I didn't figure out how to parry until I got to Mistral's boss fight, which is the third boss fight of, like, 7 in the game. No, I think there's 8 bosses. Like, I made it past Blade Wolf without knowing how to parry, because the tutorial says, oh, this is how you parry, but it's worded vaguely, so I didn't know if I had to parry by just facing an enemy and then moving towards them. Like, I assumed I just had to face the enemy, move towards them, and then press Y. And that's already hard enough to figure out how to learn and execute for the first, like, 30 times or so, as a new player who's never played a hack and slash before, or just Metal Gear Rising's particular combat system before. But the way that parries actually work is you can face in any direction. It doesn't matter. But you have to flick the stick relative to where the enemy is, and then press Y. But it worded in such a way that it makes it sound like you just have to face the enemy and then move your stick. But also, they, like, said... The exact wording is, just move your stick in the direction that the enemy is attacking. Or the attack is coming from. Which can be interpreted in a bunch of different ways. Like, I tried facing the enemy, then just pointing my stick towards them and pressing Y. And then other times I would, like, try pressing Y and moving my stick in the shape that the attack was going. Like, I don't know. It was just, like... It just took me a while to learn the combat just on parrying alone. And then learning exactly how to proc quick time events on individual creatures is also a learning process. But that was one I enjoyed, learning that. But, like, actually learning what FC meter did, how it affected combat, and how to use it against enemies took a bit longer than I feel like it should have. Again, these could all just be shortcomings of me as a player and not properly using the VR training section. Because, like, to be fair, most of the issues I'm describing right now, they had entire training areas off screen that I could have went to. But I also feel like in order to be able to play a game through from start to completion, you shouldn't need to hit up at least for a shorter, sweeter game like DMC or Metal Gear Rising, I feel like you shouldn't need to hit up the training room first for a couple hours to be able to play the rest of the game. Oh, that's what I got on Discord. Vinny sent me, like, an actual image of the inputs for the Konami code, and then he sent me a meme about QuickTime events. I'm pretty sure he just fell asleep, by the way. That's fine. Oh yeah, and the music. The music I love in Metal Gear Rising. I think it suits all the cutscenes perfectly. I think they animated the cutscenes around the songs amazing. The the battle music it's all right. It's fine. I'm the biggest fan of the boss music in particular. But that's the thing. Is like Devil May Cry 1, the music was awful. I could not. I don't think any boss had like a dedicated track to it. I could be wrong, but the background music in the castle was grating. It still loops in my head every time I think of Devil May Cry 1, and it causes me genuine mental distress to think about the music that existed in that game. Devil May Cry 3 was a notable step up. It didn't make me loathe having the music slider turned up below 0, but it also didn't exactly pull me in. There were 2 tracks that I actually bopped my head to a little bit in that game. First one was for the chariot undead horse creature, and then the other one was for the second boss fight with Virgil. The third one was also kind of good, but that was more just hype because it was the final boss fight of the game. But I really appreciated the music in Metal Gear Rising. And the music in Hi-Fi Rush was also a big pull for me. I love the music in Hi-Fi Rush. It got me into Nine Inch Nails, and I found a few other songs I like. I don't really like most of Nine Inch Nails music. It's a little touch and go for me for most of their songs. But overall, the music in Devil May Cry as a series was very underwhelming. It was actually disappointing how much I just didn't click with the music in that game as much as the other games. The music in Cult of the Lamb I love. The music in Kingdom Hearts was also pretty darn good. It was really good. It was unbelievably good. I could glaze that game all day on how much I love this music. God of War's music was also fantastic. Could go on for ages about it. Yeah, it's disappointing. Out of all the games, Devil May Cry for the first 3 games was the one outlier where I just didn't like any of their music. But to my knowledge, that does change in the future games, at least in terms of just general popularity. Like I've heard I've heard like a 5-second clip of one of the songs Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 5. And I've heard all of Bury the Light, and I absolutely love Bury the Light. So I'm very excited to see what Devil May Cry 5 has in store. Devil May Cry 4 is the in-between stage, so I feel like it's still going to be a bit of that awkward, like, developmental stage. They've definitely, like, locked down a solid concept that they executed on in 3. They established that concept in 1, but they nailed it in the 3rd game. And the 4th game is probably, because, again, I haven't heard much about the 4th game, I'm assuming the 4th game is going to be, like, were a transitional stage to them nailing exactly what they wanted to have executed that they did in the 5th game. They did establish a decent story in the 3rd game that they followed from beginning to end, but I feel like they're still trying to define a larger overarching story of what is Virgil's motivation, what is Dante's motivation. Like, they kind of gave us tastes of backstory for them from time to time, like dropping the cliffhanger of like, oh, they're not just brothers, they're twins, and something happened to their mother. And their father doesn't seem to be only a good guy. Because to my knowledge, like, Arkham teased that something happened with their father, and he also sacrificed a human to seal the demon world away, and now he sacrificed a woman to unleash it. Anyways, that doesn't matter. It just seems like that the 4th game is going to probably be a good game overall. It's not going to be as big a jump in quality as 2 to 3 was, which is a very low bar to clear. Anything would have been better than 2. But I feel like Devil May Cry 4 overall is still going to be a game worth my time, but it's going to be a game that I'm not going to be able to fully enjoy or give the time it deserves, because I'm just going to be giddy the entire time, excited to start 5. I think I am done streaming Metal Gear Rising for now. I might come back and fight Mistral, but I'm just glad I got the opportunity to come in here and ruminate a little bit on different concepts, write some of them down for what I want to touch on later. The style system, how cohesively these games are able to teach you their respective combat systems, because they are all different systems at the same day. Even if they have similarities, these systems are different experiences in each game. How well the music works for each game. Like, the music, again, Kingdom Hearts, God, the music was so good. Holy moly, the music was good. It didn't sync up the best in a lot of combat, the same, like, it was just good music. If you could easily separate the music from the combat in Kingdom Hearts and give it a different background music, and it wouldn't change much of the vibe, because the musics were always just like very dramatic and imposing in the boss fights. But the music in Metal Gear Rising, you could not separate the music from any given boss fight and try swapping it around. It would change the vibe of the boss fight so much. Which is something else I have to commend this game for, was the tone, the way that the tone that the music sets and the tone that the boss fight sets just tie in so well together. They have such a unique identity to them that you cannot separate the soundtracks or mix them up in any sort of way. Honestly, this game, aside from I don't know, I like that this game gives you the fights in between each boss fight to experiment more with the hack and slash. Again, I just keep referring it to like that. I need to stop doing that, because that's what this entire genre is. I appreciate that it gives you the opportunity to interact more with the combat system and experience it, because, you know, that's most of the game. But honestly, I wouldn't mind playing a game mode, at least on this game, where it's just all the boss fights sequentially. Because the boss fights are so hype, and then I have to do regular combat again, and I'm over here just tapping my foot, waiting for the next boss fight to start up. Which wouldn't be an issue if I was just better at the game. Then the combat would probably take less than an hour per stage. It's a completely different experience in Revengeance mode, too, because you're a glass cannon, but they give you the counterattack in Revengeance mode, which... oh, that's another thing I'm going to be yapping about for ages. They give you the counterattack, which makes you one-shot anything you can hit it with, or nearly one-shot it. Like, I took that boss from 70% HP down to 0 instantaneously by hitting it with a counterattack. That's ridiculous. In fact, it's possible they may have lowered the boss's HP pools in these boss fights, because I realize maybe they didn't lower them, just maybe they didn't touch them, because they jack up the enemy's health in this in Revengeance mode so much. Your autos, well, I call them autos. Your basic attacks, like your heavy and your lights, do nothing. They do nothing to the enemy. Anyways, my yapping's getting less coherent, so I better wrap this up. This was a very short, simple, and sweet stream. I just wanted to get back into Metal Gear Rising, get an idea for how the combat differs from the other games, get some footage as well. I'm going to stop streaming for now. I'll probably be back, hopefully sometime later tonight if I can get a good nap in. Sometime after midnight EST, probably between the hours of 1 to 5 a.m. I'm going to come back and stream Kingdom Hearts for a little bit, and if I get enough thoughts out about that game, I might make it a two-part, like a two-half stream, start with Kingdom Hearts and then move on to Hi-Fi Rush. That's probably the plan. But again, that depends if I'm able to get enough sleep before then, because I'm currently awake right now during what should be my sleeping time, because my sleep schedule got all sorts of messed up due to some chores I did yesterday. Yeah, the next couple streams are going to be a bit scatterbrained and all over the place. I'm going to hopefully be able to reel those thoughts in later and start working on a script for that project I'm working on. And hopefully it's one I actually finish this time. I haven't finished one in a while, but I've been having a lot of fun working on it and learning a lot, so that's all that really matters. Alrighty, yeah. I think I'm... you know what? I'll give it one more try, then I'll end it. One or two more tries. Fantastic, fantastic way to end it. Awesome. Alrighty. That's enough for now. I'll be back, hopefully, later tonight. Bye.